Hi guys, this is Jamie. I want to welcome you to my channel today. Today I am going to do a tag video. I was tagged by Ashley from Ashley's Coloring Journey to do the Creative Haven Scavenger Hunt tag. Um, I don't know if she was tagged but since she tagged me, I want to support her, so I figured I would try because I do have a lot of creative havens. I didn't know if I could find them all, but I definitely wanted to try. This originated from Adult Coloring with Megan, I believe. And if I can find her video that was the original one, I'll put it in the description, and I'll also put Ashley's video in the description as well. So I wrote them all down. I did the best I could. Some of them I kind of had to go out of the, I guess, kind of go out of the rules just a bit because some of them are really hard considering I have a lot of books that have people in them and a lot of the things on the list aren't in those kind of books. So I did the best I could. So number one was sun, moon, and stars. So you needed to find a picture that had sun, a moon, and stars in it. So I pulled this book, which is Fanciful Foxes by Marjorie Sarnat. And I picked this one where it looks like the fox is dressed like a wizard because there's planets, but there's like moons and there's like suns and there's stars all over it. So yeah, I noticed a lot of people were choosing a mandala book or like celestial mandala book, and I don't have that book, but I thought I could probably find something, and there you are. I had something, and that works. So hopefully it was something different that no one else would have thought of. So there is that one. Just make sure I'm in frame. The next one was teacups. So I was having a hard time finding teacups for a while, and then I like found one teacup and a teapot, and I was like, ah. And that was in a Christmas book. But then towards the end of my stack of my collection, I ran across Creative Kittens by Marjorie Sarnat, and they have a perfect teacups page, which is this one, because it has a whole bunch of teacups, not just one. And I thought, oh, that's the teacup page. And then after I found this one, I saw my Alice in Wonderland book had a really cool teacup page too. So I would have had a teacup page regardless. So that is my teacups. The next one, number 3, was a bunny. I thought this one would be really difficult, and it wasn't as difficult as I thought. I got it out of Summer Scenes by Teresa Goodridge, and I was just kind of flipping through the books, and I came across this one with the bunny right here. And it looks like it's in a strawberry patch, which is a really cute picture. Very fun. This would be a fun one to watercolor, I think. The next one was Easter eggs. So this one, if you don't have spring scenes or any of the spring books, you're not going to find this one. And I don't have any of those. So I opted for eggs that you can eat because you can dye them to make them Easter eggs. So I kind of went off the rails there for this one and went in Home Sweet Home. And there's eggs in this picture because they're baking, but you could dye those eggs to be Easter eggs, is my thought process. Like, they're already done making that cake and there's some extra eggs, so you can dye those ones for Easter. So that one was kind of a cop-out, but I didn't have any other eggs unless I went into animals, and that's not really an Easter egg. So The next one was parrots. So I didn't find a number of parrots. I only found a single parrot. And I actually have two in this book, so I just want to show you the parrot for now. Oh, wait a minute. This is Floral Tattoo Designs coloring book by Eric Suida. And where is my parrot? That's my parrot right there. And I wasn't sure if it was a parrot, but I decided it was because of the beak. It has a tropical flower by it, so I'm guessing that that is a parrot. So that was Floral Tattoo Designs. The next one was butterflies, and I could have like pulled a butterfly book, and there's lots of pages that had just have butterflies on them, and so I decided I want to do something different, and I pulled my Steampunk Designs coloring book, and this one's by Marty Noble, and I chose this one. So this steampunk lady, she's on a hot air balloon type of thing, and there's butterflies right here that are steampunk, like cog butterflies, which I think is cool. And in the other steampunk book, they had steampunk butterflies in that book too. But this is just the book that I pulled first, so that is the one I chose. Number 7 is Puppy and Kitten. So I have books with puppies in them, and I have books with kittens in them. And I was trying to find a page that had a puppy and a kitty that wasn't like a grown-up dog and a grown-up cat, which is actually trickier than you may think. But I think I found one in here, which is the Country Christmas Coloring Book by Teresa Goodrich. And I think that's a puppy. And that could be a kitten. So, because that dog is relatively small, and it reminds me of like a puppy that's about a year old. So, yeah. That is what I chose for my puppy and kitten page. Next one I have is Safari Animals, and I found my Safari Animals in Wish You Were Here coloring book by Teresa Goodrich. I know a lot of you guys have seen this one, and I picked this page, which pretty much speaks for itself. I could have picked some other books too. My Nature Mandalas has a giraffe page and a zebra page, but I decided to choose this one because it truly is safari, because there's the safari jeep and the whole scene is safari. And then the next one is number 9, Flower Gardens. And I stayed in this book for flower gardens and did this one. So I think this is like a chateau, like in Italy or something like that. And they don't have traditional gardens. They do their gardens in pots and things like that around their buildings. And this is all floral, and I think it's wonderful. So I chose it for my flower garden page. And number 10, we have garden scenes. So I found my garden scene in Country Farm Scenes coloring book, Teresa Goodrich, and I tried to look for something that was, I know would be a garden, and this is what I chose. This is obviously more of a fall type of garden, because you have your pumpkins and they've harvested some, and then they have all these corn stalks right here, and that is like in a vegetable garden. So yeah, that is what I chose for my garden scene. The next one was really hard for me, guys. It was number 11, and it was baseball. And like I said, when you don't have a spring book, it's going to be really hard to find a baseball. and sports. I don't have a sports book, you know, so I had to get a little creative. I pulled out this one, Playful Puppies, coloring book by Marjorie Sarnat. And this was like my last hope that I would find something. And I turned to this page right here where they're jumping on the little trampoline, and I think that's a baseball. If it's not, I am calling it a baseball because that is the best I can do. So yeah, that is my baseball page. Number 12, this one was a little tricky too. It was Waterfall, and I almost had to give up on this one, but I managed to find one in Curious Creatures, and this one is by Amy Weber. And here is my waterfall right here. I was lucky. It was like the last page in this book. I was lucky I found it, or else I would have had no waterfall. So yeah, that's Waterfall. Let's see what's next. Number 13 is Mermaids, and I have a book devoted to mermaids, which is the Magnificent Mermaids coloring book by Marjorie Sarnat, but I wanted to take the actual prompt that had the fact that it was plural and find a page that had more than one mermaid, or even make it more than 2 mermaids. So I did this one. It has 3 mermaids and a giant jellyfish. The next one was 14, and it was Sea Life. And they do have lots of sea life books out there, but I was trying to be different, just to be a little creative. So I went to my Nature Mandalas coloring book by Creative Haven. This was my first Creative Haven book, actually. And I chose this one because it has sea turtles, seahorses, a jellyfish in the middle, some fish, and just different kinds of sea life all in a mandala. And you could actually choose the next one too, because that's sea life too, because it has dolphins. But yeah, both of those would have worked. The next one, number 15, is Country Theme. So pick a picture that's kind of country theme. And I went with a Romantic Country Scenes coloring book by Creative Haven. And I chose this one of the couple that's kind of looking out their countryside. This is very picturesque of country to me. Reminds me of that movie Pure Country, if you guys have ever seen that with George Strait. So I knew immediately that I wanted that to be my country theme picture. Number 16 was Patterns. This one was a little tricky for me because I don't have any pattern books in Creative Havens. So I had to be a little creative on this one too. And I went into Untitled Christmas coloring book. And I'm hoping this will count as a pattern, because it's busy like a pattern, but it's not like exactly like star, 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 star. It's like it's different, but it is a pattern because they're all stars. So I'm hoping I can count that as a pattern page. That is that one. Number 17, Owls. We're going back into the Curious Creatures coloring book. And there's lots of owls in this book, but I pulled the one that looked most realistic to an owl. And I chose these two because I think they look like snow owls. And there's more than one on a page. A lot of them only had like 1 per page, but this one had 2. It actually reminds me of a cage that has 2 snow owls in it. So that is that one. The next one, number 18, is a turtle. And I found my turtle in Ocean Fantasies by Aaron Pocock. And it's the very last page. It's these sea turtles, and they're swimming with the sea turtles. These characters. I had colored one out of this book that had sea turtles already, but I'm trying to show you uncolored pictures, so yeah. They also had a really cute turtle page in the puppy book too. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on. I was half tempted to change, but it's okay. This one right here. So if you want a regular turtle, those are regular turtles. And then that had a sea turtle, so I covered turtle twice. Number 19 is pumpkin. So I wanted to do something different than autumn scenes because that's just like pumpkin manifest. So I went into Floral Tattoo again, Floral Tattoo Designs by Eric Suida, and this one because it is definitely a pumpkin, and the pumpkin is the main focus of this picture. So that is my pumpkin. And for the two bonus pictures, number one was looking at a cityscape, which I found in Wish You Were Here coloring book, and it is this one. They're looking into the city, so that's a good one. And this book is by Teresa Goodrich. And then the last one was an elephant, and I had already used my good elephant picture for the safari picture. So I was trying to find another book that had an elephant in it, and I found one, but he's kind of small. It's in Vintage Hand Fans coloring book by Marty Noble. I think this one is no, it's vertical. It's right there. It's under a tree in this fan. But I wanted to kind of try to find something that had an elephant other than one of those. So that is my elephant there. And that is all. I want to thank Ashley for tagging me. This definitely was a challenge, and I hope my choices were okay. And I want to thank Megan for creating such a tricky, made me think out of the box tag. It was fun. If I wouldn't have found any, I would have just not done those, but it's kind of fun to look through these books to see what kind of pages you have and what pages you could be coloring and explore for later down the road and rethink your creative process. So I'm not going to tag anyone. I'm just because I don't know what kind of people's, like what collections people have in the Creative Haven series, and I would hate to tag someone that maybe only had 3 books, and then that would make it really hard. But if you want to do this tag, feel free to do this tag. I think it's an open-ended tag, and I know Ren did this tag as well, Ren Kelly. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I want to thank everyone for watching. Bye guys.